So I want to start off this video by saying that if you're looking for a Elder Scrolls game, I mean the Elder Scrolls experience, you're not really gonna find it in this game, mainly because of the obvious microtransactions and chests and the like. With that said, I can actually say that it's a good free game, both for mobile and Switch actually. But I do prefer it on the Switch, because on the Switch I can play with a Pro controller, or controllers in general. I have a SM30 Pro Plus controller. I'll leave a link in the description and maybe up in the as a card to my review and my first impressions of that one. But I tried to connect that controller to my phone, and I know that works because I've done it with other games. But unfortunately it did not work with Elder Scrolls. Not in any way that I could do it anyway, at least. But as I said, it's actually a good game. It's not that I mean, putting the Elder Scrolls title in this game hurts it a little bit. Well, hurts the series in general, because other than some enemies and well, that's about it. Enemies and yeah, of course the world, it has not much in, well, it doesn't feel like a Elder Scrolls in that regard. But as a mobile game and free, of course there are microtransactions, and microtransactions are almost getting shoved in our faces all the time in this one, especially when it's free. And the prices of the microtransactions are quite horrendous. But it's still a nice game. You get to go on to missions, do objectives, find secret locations, find chests, of course, with the loot in them, random loot, of course. And there are enemies. Some of them are quite hard to hit, as you can see. You need to time the attacks a little bit, because otherwise you miss. And sometimes I'm not sure if I miss or just something wrong with it actually. The thing you see here is a sort of a dungeon, an endless dungeon, was it? You get to start at the top and then you go down the floors, and it says like, can you get to the golden chest? I have not been able to do that. Of course, the game is a bit open when you get to the missions. You are in the town and you choose a mission, and then you choose when to go out on that mission. And when you go out on that mission, you pick the mission in your in your quest log, and then you proceed from there. It's not open world as in you go out in the world and you go anywhere, but when you get to the quest, you can move a bit freely in both mobile and Switch. And of course there are restrictions, you can't jump in this game. And there's also PvP here, as you can see. And yeah, that works just as the PvE. You attack by clicking the screen or by holding down ZR and ZL, depending on from which direction you attack. And yes, I won that match because he disconnected. I'm not gonna complain, honestly. But there is one restriction that I don't like, is when you level up, you get to choose an ability or a spell, and perks. Perks are passives, that is. But abilities and spells, they are quite limited. You can only carry, what is it? 3, I think? Yeah, 3. It's quite limiting. It's quite obvious why they did it, because otherwise you would be quite overpowered possibly, but still, I think it would have been good to actually use it or have more. And the shopping system doesn't make much sense, because if just like in other Elder Scrolls, the vendors only have a limited amount of money. They can only sell for that much, then they run out of money. But if I repair my armor and all that for 500 sovereign, we say, they don't get that money for some reason. I repair, but they don't get the money. I don't understand why, because I pay them to repair my armor, but they don't get the money so that I can sell my stuff. Why? I don't get it. Anyway, on with the other inventory. You can craft potions and also some other things. Or potions and, poisons was the word. Here you can see the shop at least. About $5 for that. Those are gems, of course, you can buy. Here we have $2 and $5, $10 and 20, 50 and 100. So yeah, the microtransaction system is quite horrendous, which is why I don't want to call this a Elder Scrolls game. I would just want to call it like Blades or something, because it's a decent free game actually, as I said, but it's not very. It feels like it disgraces the Elder Scrolls name, which is not good. But we can only hope that Elder Scrolls 6 lives up to Skyrim. Unfortunately, there will be some years before we have Elder Scrolls 6, and let me tell you, this game is not gonna hold you that long. It's a fun little game, but I imagine it will come to an end at some point for me. As for the town you're in, the town is your, I guess you could call it a hub area. This is where you can improve your items, or improve your inventory, your weapons, armor, and that. And here it's also where you accept the quests, and you accept quests from either different NPCs, or you can accept them from a job board, which gives you daily quests and weekly quests. These daily and weekly they give a little bit better of a reward, which is nice. And also some of these quests also give these green gems as a reward, which is the currency that you can pay real money for, that you can unlock chests and so on. But all of these chests, I think, can be found in the world. So far I have not found anything bigger than a golden chest, or more expensive than a golden chest, but it's something. You can upgrade and rebuild, or the goal is to rebuild your town. And when rebuilding your town, you gain prestige. And with prestige you level up your town, and it gets bigger, more people, more quests. And you can also only accept certain story quests when you have reached a certain level of the town. And yeah, it's a nice feature. It works great. You simply interact with a ruin or ruins of a fallen building, and you decide what to build. The smaller houses only takes one area, and the bigger smithies and workshop and alchemy tower or alchemy house, well, alchemy, you understand, takes up 2 spaces, so you need a little bit bigger room for it, but yeah. And with these you gain some benefits, and as I said, you gain more prestige. And with the more prestige you can also level up or upgrade your houses more. You can upgrade them for they start as wooden, then you upgrade to house, and then you can upgrade to castle level. What the difference is, I'm not certain. You might get more. I think you gain more prestige if you build by stone or castle than of wood. But I'm not 100% sure about that actually. Of course, these houses take a while to build, the same with smithing and tempering is basically upgrading your weapon. But keep in mind that when you upgrade your weapon, you lose that weapon because it's in the smithing, being upgraded. So either you need to have a second weapon in your inventory, or do only tempering when you log off. And yeah, this takes a while. The higher the difficulty, the more time it takes. But I do this tempering and upgrading. Tempering and such when I log off. So when I'm back, it's for the most part done. Well, it's basically every time done, because so far the most time I've seen is like 1 hour, 140 minutes, something like that. But so I don't know how high it can go, but I imagine it can go pretty high. But one point there, you can have more than one smithy, and if you have more than one smithy, you can temper 2 things at the same time. So that's good to know. And here you can see the skill trees, and as you can see you have abilities, perks and spells, and these can be upgraded when you are the right level so they do more damage and so on. But also some of the higher damage or higher up abilities seem to be the same thing, just different name, and it does something different, nothing big. So the change is small, I feel, but it's there, but it doesn't give any depth to the game, really. You can also purchase decorations and craft decorations from the workshop, which is nice. You can decorate you can decorate with small things, big things, and medium things in some places in the city. She also, or he, I don't know if that's random, but they also sell some building material, which is nice. But yeah, overall I guess I would say that it's a good game, but if you're not a fan of microtransactions, stay away. I mean, it's full of them, and it does get kind of shoved in your face at some points, which is not good. I will continue playing this on the Switch because of it's a fine time killer in between Animal Crossing, you know. And here you can see some of the controls for the mobile version. It's about the same, but it was a bit different and more difficult. And another thing that I don't like is that you don't seem to be able to create a second character, which is a major downer for me. I mean, I would like to have more than one character. I might have missed something, but as far as I know, you can only have one character. And that's kind of sad, because I would have liked to... The one I'm playing on mainly on the Switch is a warrior. I would have liked to play as a mage as well on the Switch. So far I've been playing that on the mobile, and as usual, mage feels kind of weak almost. I don't know what's wrong, but yeah, I might be doing something wrong, or it might be because of how the controls are. Anyway, if I have to grade this game, I would give it a 5 out of 10. and most of the negatives comes from partially the controls and the microtransactions, of course. And so far the combat is a bit one-sided. It can get difficult, but it's kind of one-sided. Block, attack, 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 block, and that kind of thing. Use an ability at some points. But yeah, that's about it. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you again sometime.